a mental health foundation specializing in life therapy. We help employers and employees lead more balanced and fulfilling lives by addressing emotional, financial, and life mental health challenges. And some of the, thank you so much, David, for recording. And also, I hope we are okay, we are taking notes. Okay, thank you. We help employers and employees lead more balanced and fulfilling lives by addressing emotional, financial, and life mental health issues. So some of our services include life therapy sessions, we offer trainings, we offer employee assistance programs, we offer employee wellness programs, we offer executive therapy for founders, CEOs, and managers. We have heard of toxic workplaces. So we are covering all around because we are seeing the importance of having good mental health at the workplace. We also offer mentorship programs and speaking engagements. Our services include some of the services that we offer as MWKI is trauma and PTSD. We have heard of these terms and terminologies, and we are going to introduce ourselves slowly so that you can keep in touch and slowly you can be able to continue learning, because we are going to share so much knowledge with you guys. We care about you and we just want you to grow in your mental health, to grow in your career, and to have life balance and enjoy and have a fulfilling life. So our services include, we help people who are experiencing trauma and PTSD, stress and burnout. Tunasema job inakupatia stress sana, we help with that. Isolation, depression and anxiety, substance abuse or addictions, substance use disorders. We help with ADHD and bipolar. We help with something called sudden wealth and imposter syndrome. It's sudden wealth syndrome and imposter syndrome. We also help with mindsets, financial issues, healthy work and relationship boundaries, issues with relationships. We help with co-founders and business partners conflicts, relationship issues, employee assistance and wellness programs you had already mentioned, executive therapy, loss and grief, and personal development. So my friend and colleague David is going to share links on some of our upcoming masterclasses that we are having this week. We are going to have a masterclass this Friday evening, and it's only going for 1,500 Kenya shillings. And we are also going to have a hangout event. I'm going to mention that. But in this masterclass, like you've seen, we are helping people dealing with loss and grief, and we are going to be having a masterclass on that. And with the links that my colleague David is going to share in the chat box, you are able to get an access link where if you want to pay, you can actually pay right now and book your slots. We always offer recordings and presentation notes. So even afterwards you attend the class, we upload the session in our vaults, and we give you access because you have already paid for it. We give you access to that class. And when we give you access to that class, you can go over it as many times as you want. That is the advantage that you get. We give you over and above, and we want to make sure that you're always growing and that you're not stagnating. There's always help and support available for you. We also have a hangouts. We are calling it Unplug and Unwind. And because we understand this season has been very heavy for some of us, tunasema stress, job inakupea stress. I have seen business owners who are here, karibuni sana. It is giving you stress and you're wondering, what am I going to do? And you've never been in an event where you get to play, you get to unwind, you get to have snacks. So we are offering that opportunity to play and interact with like-minded individuals. We will offer you surprise snacks and refreshments, and this is going to be at Karura Forest, Nairobi. And we are also going to offer a transformative mental wellness session where we are going to equip you so that after the session, umecheza, umechoka, you have learned. When you go back home, during your week, when you encounter stress, you will know, oh, I already had this moment to refresh and to renew, and you can get to apply what you will learn. So we are going to share the link in the chat box so that you're able to pay for it and book as soon as right now, so that you are able to even have, you're going to even have an access to a peaceful space to breathe and rest. We do things like breathing exercises, and it's going to be so much fun. And so we look forward to hosting you for that. We also offer therapy services, and for we have several therapy packages, and you can see more of these details on our website. We are going to also, in the link that David is going to share in the chat box, you're going to see our website where you are going to be able to have access to this information. And there's the basic package, there's the standard and the premium. And like I said, we do not compromise on quality. We want to make sure that we are serving you with excellence, and we are giving you the best thing, the best service that there is. So if you would like to book a session with us, or if you know somebody who needs mental health services, please feel free to reach out, and we are going to be of assistance to you. And one last thing before I introduce our guests, we have, we've had several master classes and courses that we are doing over the course and period of time. And so far we have a subscription membership available if you want to access the courses vault. Let's say, for example, you're too busy and you don't know what to do. You're not able to keep up with our courses because we are doing so many things at the same time. There is the option of membership, and there's the 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and annual membership. It's like Netflix, but only for education, you know. So we are committed to your personal growth, and we are committed to you growing in your mental health. I always say that you cannot heal what you don't understand, and investment in knowledge is the best thing you can ever do for yourself. So ukisema Netflix and chill, please remember that we are here to help assist you in your mental health, and those packages are available in the link that in the link that David has shared in the chat section. And so as I conclude, we also have our social media platforms. Like I said, it is available in the website link that I've already shared. And before I introduce our guests, I just want to thank you for this time, and thank you for joining us. Let us continue inviting guys to join in, because we are about to like feast in the very best. We are working with the cream de la cream of the mental health spaces. So I want to take this opportunity to welcome our very good facilitator, John Wanjiru. He is a dedicated psychologist and research analyst. He trains on CBT, lifestyle diseases, and mental health. With over 10,000 hours of clinical practice working in the field of psychology and research, and he has been featured on platforms like EBN TV, Nivisha Fellowship, Sarah Mutsami YouTube channel, and Minova Fellowship. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you to help me welcome our guest, John Wanjiru. Karibu sana, John. This is your space. Yes, please clap for him. Let us encourage him. You will tell me, mutaniambia. You will tell me how you will see it. Yes, John, I can see you have raised your hand.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Yes, the intro is very intense. I'm drowning. Good. I'm going to start sharing my screen. A minute. Hello, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we are, John.
Yes, I can.
You. Thank you. I'm going to begin right away. With me here, let me power on my video for a few moments so that you can be able to see who I am. And that is me. That is John. We're going to begin. Our topic today will handle the three aspects, that is lifestyle, diet, and productivity. Every one of us here who are seated listening to this info session is in one way or the other burning some energy. They're burning some fuel in form of, so that you can be able to have the energy to listen, to sit down, or to do any of the other activities you're doing on your end. You're burning energy. It means that your brain and your body is doing some process here and there to ensure that you have energy to do your task. That's what we'll be dealing with today. So this is our first right, and we can see some foods here. This session will be entertaining and engaging. So if you look at the chart, where is your main source of food? Which one is the main source of your food, of your diet? You can start with Maryanne.
Yes. My source, please repeat the question.
Maybe your diet is mostly composed of?
Carbohydrates, fruits, vegetables, proteins, vitamins, all of that.
All of that?
Yeah.
Anyone who is a vegetarian out there? Anyone? Good. I believe most of us consume all the things that are mentioned, that are featured in this particular slide. We're going to have a discussion on that. So our discussion will figure to understand how can we be able to improve our productivity in our workplace, in whatever we do in life. How can you be able to optimize your resources, energy, resources in your brain to ensure optimum productivity? We start by understanding what is a lifestyle. Lifestyle is the way you do things. These compromises of your habits, the behaviors, how you act, your values, the values that you treasure, and your daily activities. This is what makes you. And in this case, this particular lifestyle is influenced by many factors, socio-cultural factors and economic factors. For example, I'm a Kikuyu from the Kikuyu lands. Most people, we have had these stereotype on Kikuyus being associated with viazi, potatoes. And it means that as a Kikuyu, most likely I'm likely to consume potatoes because there's maybe from that area and I prefer that. That means that socio-cultural factors are influencing my lifestyle. That is the choice of diet and the behaviors that I choose to do. Then we have another concept of lifespan. Lifespan is the day between the day you're born and the day you die. And that lifespan is influenced by the choices you choose in life. They are dependent on how you choose. For example, if you make terrible choices on maybe dieting, you're likely to struggle with lifestyle diseases, which would reduce your lifespan. But before they reduce your lifespan, they're likely to reduce your health span. What is a health span? For example, you will find that over the years, we are able to live many years, because we've been able to provide some measures to deal with malaria and many of the diseases that used to kill people massively. That is, our health span has increased, our lifespan has increased. But If you notice very keenly, you realize that our health span has reduced. We're actually living long, but sick. And what is contributing to this? We're going to see that one of the factors that is contributing to reduced health span and productivity is overfeeding. You find that in the 21st century, we have a lot of people who are overweight than any other centuries there before. Because we are eating foods that are addictive, the sugar industry has been able to manipulate and engineer our foods so that you can be able to eat more. And this has contributed to us gaining weight. By the end of today's session, you'll be able to understand how that happens. The other thing is about malnutrition, bad nutrition. We find that, ironically, we have a generation that is overweight, but with malnutrition. Because most of our diet, for example, you wake up in the morning, you eat wheat products. Lunchtime, you eat wheat product. Supper, you eat wheat products. By the end of the day, you have only consumed one key nutrient, that is carbohydrate. And your body needs a variety of both macro and micro nutrients, and you have not consumed that on your diet. The other thing that is contributing to reduced productivity is toxic exposure. What are the toxics? The toxics starts in the garden, in the farm, the chemicals that are being sprayed on the produce. Then it goes to preservation, and all through the production process, chemicals are used. For example, I think it was last year, but there was an incident of butcheries that there was a news item on how people are using formalin, a chemical used to preserve cadavers in the morgue, to preserve meat. And some of these toxins are destroying our brain and our body. The other one is stress, chronic distress. In this generation, you are stressed by almost everything. One of the things that is a constant source of stress, as I featured that in my recent article on this, is our phones. We are constantly bombarded by information, unnecessary information and news about the different things that are happening all over the world. Some of them are unnecessary to us. If you look at maybe 17 something, there were no phones. So if someone dies in Africa, maybe you're in Europe, you're not going to know, and that is not going to stress you. Someone is dying, for example, the recent death of Pope. Me in Africa is being affected by that because of my phone. My phone is informing me the Pope has died, and that is also contributing to our distress. The other thing is sedentary lifestyle. Human beings as beings in the category, in the kingdom Animalia, are designed to move or locomote from one place to another. Currently, we have food apps, we have Uber apps. You can basically get anything you need without having to move. Yeah. Are we still together?
Yes, we are.
Thank you. I hope you are following. The other thing is insomnia. We are not sleeping enough. And one of the main reasons why you're not sleeping enough is our phones. Yeah, you are constantly on TikTok, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. You just have a lot to do even when you're supposed to sleep. You find yourself you're stuck online. And this denies the body a chance to recover, to recuperate, and we should be able to run how that cost us in the long run. And there is this theory of Pareto principle, that suggests that 80% of our outcome result from the 20% of all inputs. For example, in a workplace, you find that maybe 80% of the work is being done by 20% of the people. The rest of 80% are just checking for email and looking for opportunities to go to TikTok and many other things. And when I was preparing for these rides, I thought, can this principle apply to our diet? And I tried to come up with a formulation based on this Pareto principle to understand how this dynamic appears in this case. And we're going to see that. So we have now A. A indicates someone who eats 80, who eats around 80% of the food, but he or she only gets 20% vitamins. Yeah, this in A could represent someone who is maybe eating mostly wheat products and maybe an occasional maybe vegetable or fruit. They're eating a lot, but they're getting very small amount of nutrients from that particular meal. And this is not on a single day, but cumulatively. And then we have B. This is someone who is eating 20% of the food, but is getting 80% of the nutrients. This may represent someone who is taking grains, fruits, maybe proteins, and they're getting value from whatever they're eating. They're eating small, but they're getting huge. And maybe a question goes, are you A or are you B? Maybe someone can respond to that. Let me show it. Are you A or B? Hello, are we still together?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Wewe unaanguka wapi?
J.
You don't know?
Maybe I can share, even as I wait for other people to respond.
Yes.
I think probably for me, it will be A. I will give a small example. I remember there was this time I did a video and uploaded it on TikTok on my breakfast, and somebody told me, oh, please add eggs to that breakfast. Please add proteins to that breakfast. And then I asked them, what protein? And then they went ahead and listed all the proteins I needed to ingest. So basically, it seemed like I think I will resonate with A more and perhaps be more intentional on working on B.
Thank you. Thank you for being genuine, because most of us will not be genuine in this case, because I thought about this a lot and I wondered, I started by questioning myself, am I in A or am I in B? I think there's a time I was in A, but I've been trying to be in B. Not only consuming a lot of it, but ensuring that I'm consuming something of value. Yeah. So, and this is what we should strive for in our diet, not only in a single day, but we form a routine around that. Any other person? Okay, I'm going to proceed. And remember, before I proceed, the nutrients you take in are they are much needed by your brain, by your body, to ensure that you can be able to perform optimally, you can be able to be more productive, as we shall see as we proceed with the presentation. The diet and the brain. So we have our brain, all of us, I believe so. Yes. So diet, whatever we eat is digested and used by our body and by our brain to perform different tasks. For example, personally, say right now I'm articulating, I'm involving my brain, and I'm also moving my hands as I'm trying to explain these points. In this dire moment, I'm using energy that was maybe is being generated from the food I ate at lunchtime or the food I ate yesterday. Yes. So the first thing we need to understand is about our brain is that there's this concept of neuroplasticity. What is neuroplasticity? Neuroplasticity is just a simple word to illustrate the ability of our brain to change, to regenerate, to generate new cells, to create new connections throughout our lifetime. Before this idea was developed, people used to believe that the brain, once maybe, for example, a brain part is damaged, it cannot be mended. But the brain, constant research has shown that the brain is able to regenerate new cells plus new connections, something we call synapses, throughout life. And this is a very, very good thing because, for example, maybe you suffer a traumatic experience, be it an accident, the brain is able to find a way to create new connections and overcome that particular traumatic event that was captured in your brain. The other thing I want us to understand is about a specific protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And these are very, very key protein in the brain. Yeah. This particular protein plays a very key role in generating new cells in the body, in the brain, and a bodyguard to the existing cells in the brain. That means that even when the brain has an injury, it can be able to figure out a way of generating new cells and recuperating from that particular traumatic experience. And this particular protein is supplied by omega-3s. Omega-3s are key fatty acids that we get from greens. Green, for example, skuma wiki, managu, and many other greens. We also get omega-3 from fats. Yeah, be it saturated and unsaturated. We're going to see about that. The other thing is neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are brain messengers. They help us to communicate in the brain about things. For example, if you are burnt at the finger, you're likely to remove that finger from the fire. That means that information has been sent from the finger, from the sensory neurons on your finger to your brain, and a response is provided. And these key neurotransmitters, you're going to learn how can we be able to tap into some of them through some set of activities so that you can be able to improve our productivity as we work through this particular presentation. The first and the main neurotransmitters, one of them is GABA and glutamate, but I'm not going to focus on those. I'm going to focus on dopamine. Dopamine is a key neuromodulator or a neurotransmitter that plays key role in focus, reinforcement, motivation, movement. And if you look at, I know you're looking at me, but what I'm doing, the way I'm speaking, my brain is utilizing dopamine molecules to ensure that I can be able to move my lips, and there is coordination for me to be able to articulate my words accurately and deliver the message that is intended. And by the end of the session, we'll be able to learn how can we be able to do some adjustments in our life and boost the levels of dopamine. One of it, as we shall see later on, is deliberate code exposure. Deliberate code exposure. What is this? Deliberate code exposure is when you expose yourself to cold water, be it on an ice plunge or a cold shower. Personally, since I discovered the value and the necessity of the importance of deliberate cold exposure, I've been bathing with cold water for as long as I can remember. Yeah. And how does this work? We are going to learn about that in as we continue the slides. The other one is serotonin. I heard most of us mention about mood. Some of us were feeling thunderstorm, others were feeling cozy, others were feeling cold, and many other feelings. Others were feeling anxious, others were feeling sad. Those are emotions. Those particular emotions are controlled by serotonin. Serotonin plays a key role in mood regulation. So when it is low, when the levels of serotonin are low, you're likely to feel sad, anxious, depressed, and hence the use of a certain category of medicine called SSRIs, selective serotonin uptake inhibitors, in treatment of depression. I know most of us have heard the term depression or have an idea what is depression is. There is a class of medicine called SSRIs that are used in treatment. They work in the same principle. They prevent the absorption of serotonin at the synaptic cleft. That means your brain will have more serotonin, and that means your mood will improve. And when your mood is up there, you're likely to be more productive in your career or in your workplace. The other one is acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is also a very key neurotransmitter. It plays a role in learning and memory. All of us here are learning. You're learning about diet and the brain, and in one or the other, your brain is firing some acetylcholine to ensure that you can learn and you can be able to keep the information in your brain. Mostly, the center that is involved in memory is on this part of the head called the temporal lobe. The specific place that stores memory is called the hippocampus. It's between your 2 ears. And acetylcholine comes, you mostly get choline. It's made from choline. Choline, you get it from eggs and mostly poultry. And when you have enough of this from your diet, it means that you can be able to learn and memorize things more effectively than someone who is deprived of that particular nutrient, choline. As Wanjiru mentioned, she mentioned that someone advised her to include eggs in her morning breakfast. That means that if she did that next day, she was able to supply the body with choline, enhancing her acetylcholine in the brain. That means that she can be able to improve her memory and learning. And then we have epinephrine and norepinephrine. Epinephrine is what mostly is called adrenaline. It's called epinephrine in the brain. In the body, it's called adrenaline. It's the same thing. This particular neurotransmitter is involved in fight and flight responses. For example, maybe the man in the savannah sees a lion. He is prompted to run or fight. That is enabled by the production of epinephrine from the brain, so that he or she can be able to learn from danger. Are we still together? Am I fast?
We are still together.
Thank you. So the other thing is norepinephrine. They go hand in hand. The precursor of norepinephrine or of epinephrine is norepinephrine, so that norepinephrine helps you to calm down, to focus, especially in times of stress. You're able to calm down and focus. It also plays a very key role in memory. And that's why you have heard this statement that children don't forget anything you do bad, anything bad you do to them. Why is that? This is enabled by norepinephrine. Norepinephrine allows you to capture that memory, especially when you are in a stressful situation. And this is also key in learning. For example, for you to learn anything, you need to stress the brain. Yeah, maybe you are learning this particular topic on diet and the brain. You are stressing the brain because it's a new concept. And once you stress the brain releases norepinephrine to ensure that you're able to capture this particular topic. So we cannot talk about productivity without talking about the other side, that is the diseases that are associated that can lead to reduce productivity. And these are the class of diseases we call lifestyle diseases. These diseases result from the choices you choose in life, the behaviors, and how you act. There are many of them. We have diabetes. Diabetes is what is commonly known as ugonjwa ya sukari in Swahili. We have obesity. Obesity is when you are overweight. And then we have diseases of the heart. We call them cardiovascular diseases that affect the cardiovascular system. For example, stroke, heart attack, heart failure, blood pressure. We also have cancer. We also have STD and alcoholism. There's a time the news, I think it was the Daily Nation, had a particular headline, a drunk nation. And whenever people are drunk or are drinking alcohol, the productivity reduces. And so that you can be able to see the connection between these diseases and productivity. When you have obesity, you're likely to reduce your productivity because you'll not be able to move as you used to. When you have diabetes, you're likely to reduce your productivity because you might not act like you used to. Maybe, for example, you have cancer, you're likely to spend a lot of time in hospital doing the chemo and the other follow-up medical procedures. That means that your productivity in the society has been reduced. Also, is the same case with alcoholism. But for the purposes of this discussion, you're going to focus on diabetes so that you can be able to understand diabetes and how we can deal with it. Diabetes, we have two main types. We have diabetic insipidus and diabetic mellitus. Diabetic insipidus mostly result from the body attacks itself, and this can lead to loss of a key organ that plays a role in regulating sugar in the body. This is the pancreas. Pancreas, it has a specialized cell in it. They're called beta cells that produce insulin that helps to regulate sugar in the body. So, the common diabetes is diabetes mellitus type 2. But we're going to discuss both of them. So diabetes mellitus type 1, this results when you lose your beta cells. I've said beta cells are the cells in your pancreas that play a role in generating and producing insulin. Insulin is a hormone that helps to regulate your sugar in the body. The human body always strives for balance. The body always strives for balance or homeostasis. So whenever sugar is down, it has to be brought down. Whenever sugar is up, it has to be brought down. And this is done by insulin. This is what was traditionally known juvenile diabetes. Then we have type 2. We have it's called diabetic mellitus type 2. This is the most common one, in where the body is unable to respond to the insulin produced. The body is resistant to the insulin produced. Are we still together?
Yes, we are.
Thank you. So what causes this diabetes? One of which is hereditary. I'm not going to discuss that much, but the main causes, the things we can be able to adjust in our lives, is the lifestyle causes. One of which is diet. What we are eating. Yeah. What we're eating has really changed. We're eating things that look like food, but they are not food. And food by itself doesn't cause diabetes, but it can lead to changes in the body that could result to diabetes. And we have two classifications of food. We have slow releasing foods and fast releasing foods. Slow releasing foods are mostly what most people consider traditional foods. They are rich in fiber, they are digested slowly, and the body releases less insulin to manage to manage sugar levels after taking these foods. For example, sweet potatoes, yams, and cassavas. Then we have highly refined carbohydrates. They are called fast food, fat food. Yeah, fast food. These are foods that they lead to a high spike of sugar in the body, and hence a high spike of insulin in the body. And this constant production of high insulin could lead to muscles to stop responding to insulin, and this could lead to diabetes. The other one is physical stagnation. Yeah, we are literally not moving. We can be seated for many hours, and some of us don't exercise, and this is causing problem to the body. The other one is adiposity. Adiposity is a scientific name for being fat, and 80% of the people with diabetes are overweight. That means they are carrying a lot of fat around their waistline, something that is termed aposhipping coats. The other one is smoking. The other one is stress. We're going to see about that. That is that particular slide is indicating foods that you can choose from. Instead of eating these in the first column, we can eat foods in the second columns. Instead of eating fries and mashed potatoes, you can consider eating vegetable. For example, sweet potato is a vegetable. Yams, cassava, and arrowroot. They are rich in fiber. They are also slow releasing. They are digested very slowly. That means there will not be a spike of sugar that will lead to a spike of insulin. How can you be able to detect these signs of diabetes? How can you be able to detect it? One of it is weight loss. And this is also a common sign in cancer, especially if you experience a 5% loss of weight within a short period of time. That could indicate there's a problem. The other one is a frequent urination. It's called polyuria in the scientific term. You find that someone is going to the loo many times than necessary. The other one is excessive dust. Excessive dust. You find that you're getting dusty here and there. Yeah, you're taking a lot of water at once. Maybe when you take water, you take like 2 liters at one time. That could also be another sign of diabetes. The other one is increased hunger. Find that you're always hungry. You're always feeling like you need to eat and eat more. Yeah, it's called polyphagia. And the other one is blurred vision. Blurred vision, I actually, whenever I'm training these to women, women or people in a trauma, sometimes I go there. And I also tell, whenever you see you are starting to develop problem with sight, you need to go for a blood checkup so that you can be checked blood sugar before you start taking using lenses, because this might be because you are pre-diabetic. Yeah, how does it happen? Excessive or high level of sugar in the body could lead to change, the lenses could change the color and shape. This could lead to changes in vision. The other one is the diabetic dermatomes. These are now in the complications. You find this mostly when diabetes has progressed to the latter stages. These are some of the complications of diabetes. You find that they damage your blood vessels. And this could lead to other problems. The other one, they also damage your kidney. What you're calling diabetic retinopathy. You also damage your nephropathy, I meant that. Retinopathy is the retina of your eye. It's also damaged. That's what I've mentioned about reduced vision, and you can also go blind because of diabetes. And you can see the connection with this with productivity. For example, you have diabetes and you go blind or your vision changes. You may likely to reduce your productivity in your career and in your workplace. The other one is neuropathy. Your nervous system is attacked. This could lead to foot ulcers, and this can further lead to amputation. In this case, if you lose a limb, you are likely to reduce your productivity, be it in your career, workplace, or any other part of your life. Are we still together? Any question up to that point?
I think I have a question.
Yes.
You have mentioned about, I will kindly ask that you just mention it briefly because I think I've missed a bit, I've skipped a bit of the information.
Yes.
When you're talking about food, the foods that you will recommend to avoid that spike in blood sugar, you mentioned blood sugar levels. Maybe you can mention again the foods that you have said are good for that. I don't know how you have explained it, but to avoid that spike in the blood sugar. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Thank you.
Good. A very good question. So I've mentioned about some foods. We have two classes. One of it is slow releasing foods and fast releasing foods. Slow releasing foods are food most people consider them traditional, and actually they are very good for you. Those things that you think are traditional, and most of these traditional foods are not sweet. If you take, for example, arrowroots, I have my small cousin says this. They taste like soil. Yeah, she says that arrowroot tastes like soil. But these particular foods, arrowroot, cassava, greens, they are rich in fiber. They are also digested slowly because of the fiber. The digestion is usually slowed. And you can see this example. For example, if two people, for example, me and someone else, for example, me and Maryanne, I take a quarter of bread in the morning, and Maryanne takes a quarter of arrowroots or cassava in the morning. Who is not likely to take lunch? Who is not likely to take lunch? Someone can respond to that.
Maryanne is more likely not to take lunch.
Good. And yet, both of us have eaten the same quantity of food. Yes. So that's something we need to understand. Whenever you're talking about diet, you have both eaten the same quantity of food, but Maryanne is not likely to take lunch. Why is that? It's because Maryanne has eaten food rich in fiber, and they are very slowly digested. They are not also leading to a spike of sugar in the blood because they are slowly digested. Mkate, indomies, noodles, let me not use indomies, noodles, and most of the junk food that are sold in many of the fast food spots are fast digested. You can eat like 10 burgers a day, but if you eat one piece of arrowroot, cassava, sweet potato, you're not likely to eat again. Those are the kind of food you're supposed to avoid, the junk food, which are not rich in fiber. They are rich in sugar, and I'm going to mention that in the next slide. They are rich in sugar, a lot of it. Actually, nowadays, they are using a very addictive sugar. It's called fructose. This particular sugar is really very, very addictive, and they know that. And fructose, your body cannot digest it. Your body is not adapted to break down fructose. Your body is programmed to deal with glucose and fats and proteins. You find that whenever you eat fructose, if it is to be digested, the liver has to do some work so that it converts that, it tries to break down the bond between glucose and to try to break down the fructose bond so that it can be absorbed in the body. And the liver has no time for that. And constant eating of these highly refined foods that we are putting in the cluster of fast food leads to something called a leaky gut. You have a gut running from the mouth to the back to the anus. That's what we call the gut. Whenever you eat foods rich in fructose or highly sugary food, be it sucrose, leads to a situation where we have a leaky gut. What is a leaky gut? A leaky gut is where you find that in the walls of the gut, the mucous membrane, it's called the mucosa. The mucous membrane that covers the gut is destroyed by these sugars. These lead to compounds, other compounds which are not needed in the body goes directly into the blood. And some of the symptoms of a leaky gut, you may find that you're having constipation. You're also farting a lot. You're also experiencing stomach rumbling now and then, and many others. I hope I've been able to explain that.
Yes, you have. Thank you.
Thank you. This is what foot ulcers look like. I saw this in my late grandfather's foot. He had struggled with a stroke, and it came with complications like this. And hence my key interest in this area of lifestyle disease. I like to train on them because I saw how stroke can be very dangerous and how these lifestyle diseases come together. He had started to suffer from stroke. He also suffered from heart problems, and he died sadly. But you can be able to see, and those particular time that he was sick, find that his productivity was reduced to zero. And that's why it is important for us to check what we are eating. We are almost at the end of the session, but everything that we need to learn is in this particular slide. So how do you improve your productivity? I know you came to this session so that you can be able to learn this thing. One of which is eat healthy. What does that mean? Eating healthy means that you eat foods that are rich in macro and micronutrients. And we have the macronutrients. We have the first and most essential nutrient in your diet should be proteins. Proteins comes from a Latin word protos. Protos means the first and the most essential part of human diet. So you can ensure that every day you get at least a protein in your meal because it's the first and most essential part of human diet. And I remember back then I mentioned about dopamine. When you take proteins, especially from animal products, you supply your body with a key nutrient called a key amino acid called tyrosine. Tyrosine plays a key role in generating dopamine. Yeah. So that means that when you eat proteins, you're likely eating dopamine in one way or the other because you're eating key amino acid that play a role in generating dopamine. That is tyrosine. And when you have dopamine in the body, it means that you'll be highly motivated. You'll also be able to reinforce your good behavior, your good patterns of behavior. You're also likely to feel rewarded. You're feeling psyched up to do your activity, to go to work, to pursue your careers, and to do any other thing that you need to do in life to feel a sense of meaning and purpose. The other key macronutrients you need in the body is vitamins. Vitamins comes also from Latin word. Vita means life, amins means salt. So vitamin is in short form means the salt of life. The salt of life. So ensure that your diet has vitamin. Where do you get vitamins? Greens, vegetables. Like I mean greens, that means vegetables, fruits, avocado. Avocado is a very rich plant, very rich fruit. It is rich in magnesium. You have bananas rich in potassium. Yeah. Ensure that your food has greens. The other thing that you also get from that is fiber. Fiber, the string-like things that you see in vegetables, for example, sukuma wiki, spinach, and many others. They have fibers. These fibers are the foods that your gut microbiomes. What is gut microbiomes? In your gut, from the mouth to the anus, you have a rich supply of organisms. We call them microbiome. These particular microbiomes, we have a category within them that is called psychobiomes. Psychobiomes, these particular organisms, play a very key role in mood and immunity. So when you lack fiber, you'll have a leaky gut, and also you're likely to have less microbiome in your gut. That means that your mood will fluctuate a lot because you don't have the key psychobiomes that are playing key role in mood regulation. The other thing is omega-3s. Omega-3, where do you get them from? You get them from fats. Yes. You also get them from eggs, fish oil, or fish itself. You also get omega-3s from greens, some of the greens, especially managu. And this omega-3, we say that it plays a key role in generating producing a protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, that plays a role in generating new neurons in your brain, especially here in your prefrontal cortex. The part behind your forehead is called the prefrontal cortex, that is involved in decision-making, self-awareness, top-down control, emotional control. Your willpower is also in your prefrontal cortex. So that means when you have omega-3, you're supplying your brain with key proteins that are contributing to enhanced productivity in your brain. The other thing is avoiding ultra-processed foods. And the simple thing to detect ultra-processed food, they're mostly advertised on your TV station. Most of the adverts are about ultra-processed foods, the noodles, and that category of foods. They are highly processed that they lack a nutritional value. They make you feel a sense of satiation, but they are not providing the nutrients that you need for you to fire up and live a meaningful life. The other thing is avoiding highly sugary foods that I had mentioned, the junks, the sodas. Actually, personally, in my life for the last 5 years, I don't take sodas, I don't take sugar, unless from foods like maybe cake occasionally. Yeah, I've tried to reduce my sugar intake. The other one is drinking enough water. Yeah, water plays a very key role in excretion. You find that if you're not taking enough water, you're likely to experience constipation and the pooping will hurt. You're also likely to find that your skin is dull because you are not properly hydrated. And I didn't mention on this, but avoiding, if you can, avoiding alcohol. Alcohol dehydrates your system, and you're going to discuss with Maryanne and see we can have a topic on alcohol and how it does to the body later on. Are we still together?
Yes, we are.
Thank you, thank you. Taking enough water. The other thing is managing stress. How do you improve productivity? You learn how to manage stress. And stress is not bad for you. Yeah, acute stress is not bad for you. You need some level of stress in life. Actually, and if you don't have stress right now, look for something to make you stressed a little bit. You need that. Because we say that you cannot run unless there's some aspect of stress. But you need to avoid chronic levels of stress, what you call distress. How do you manage it? You have some 3 techniques, 3 or 4 techniques that are very, very good in managing stress. One of it is a Pomodoro technique. I learned this technique from Maryanne. We had a discussion on this and I got to learn about it. Pomodoro comes from an Italian word. Pomodoro is an Italian word to mean tomato. Tomato, there's this particular crock that looks like this. Here, it is mostly used in science experiment. What does this technique involve? For example, this technique involves you studying for maybe 25 minutes and resting for 5 minutes. You study for 25 minutes and then rest for 5 minutes. That allows your brain to process the information you have learned and give you a chance to integrate that information that you have learned before you proceed to consume extra information. I use this in my daily routine, except today I've not done that because we are on a time-stamped presentation. The other one is physiological sign. And you may forget everything, but don't forget these 2 techniques. Physiological sign, what does this technique involve? This is very simple. Whenever you feel stressed, you have an interview coming, you have a presentation to be done. I did this before I started the presentation. The physiological sign. You take 2 deep breaths, hold it for 5 to 10 seconds, then release with your mouth. You take 2 deep breaths, then you hold in for some few seconds, then release. This particular technique is able to control your blood flow to the heart, and you are likely to feel calm. Ensure that you integrate this in your life. This is a very, 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 very vital technique. Before you sleep, do this. 2 deep breaths, hold it, release with your mouth. Do that 5 times. Your anxiety goes away. You're able to relax. You're able to calm your nerve, and you can be able to perform optimally. Yeah. The other one is NSDR, non-sleep deep rest. Non-sleep deep rest. This is where you lie on your couch and relax to allow your brain to restore the reservoirs of your neurotransmitters, especially dopamine. These particular techniques are able to give room for the brain to restore the levels of dopamine in the body. The other one is CBT techniques. CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy. This is a particular technique that checks for the association between thoughts, feelings, and behavior. If you can be able to adjust one in that transaction, you can be able to change your behavior. For example, is this cognitive reframing. Maybe you have met someone in life that says, I cannot do this. I cannot do this. As a therapist, you're likely to, if I get such a client in my session, I'm likely to ask, is it that you cannot do, or is it that you won't? Is it that you can't do it, or is it that you won't? Can't gives responsibility to other people, but won't brings the responsibility to you. Not that you can't do it, it's just that you won't do it. And when you do that reframing, you're able to see, yes, I'm the one who don't want to do it. Let me do it. That's also a very good technique you can be able to learn and integrate in your life. The other technique is assertiveness. As I wind up, assertiveness, that is saying no when necessary. Yeah. You're given a task and you feel stressed up, don't take it. Say no. The other one is journaling. Pen down your feelings and thoughts. This is a very, very good technique. If you look at, I have my journal here with me on my working desk. I like to pen down my thoughts and feelings and things that are bothering me. These are a very good technique for anyone who wants to learn how to deal with their thoughts and feelings. Great people used to do this. Marcus Aurelius, but a book that I'm reading. It's a very, very informed book if you'd like to read it. The other thing is exercise. I had mentioned about the deliberate code exposure. The other one is sunlight. Ensure the first thing you do in the morning, you expose yourself to sunlight. Once you do that, you're able to tell your brain the day has started, fire up, and you're likely to find that if you do that, you're likely to be more productive that particular day. Ensure that every morning, once you wake up, ensure that the first thing you do is get exposure to sunlight. The other thing is exercises. And lastly is about adequate rest, sleep. If you want to improve your productivity, so you should also have a regular sleeping routine. How do you achieve this? Ensure that you sleep at a regular time. If you're supposed to sleep at 10, ensure that you sleep at 10 consistently. And sleep, we have two types of sleep. Let me just give you a little bit details on that. We have two types of sleep. We have non-rapid eye movement sleep and rapid eye movement sleep. The first 6 hours, once you go to sleep, you go to a state of non-REM sleep. Your eyes are closed and you sleep peacefully. That phase of sleep allows your body to calm down, relax, regulate hormones, and all that. The second phase of sleep is called rapid eye movement sleep. Here you find that the eyes are likely to be moving here and there, and you are half awake. This particular period of sleep, you're able to address your emotional needs. You're able to address your emotional needs. This is the overnight therapy for free. Your brain is able to perform therapy for free while you're sleeping, if you give it time to do that. That's my presentation. This particular work has been inspired by a very good book I read from Max Rogaver. It's called Genius Foods. It's a very rich book, so that you can be able to learn about how you can be able to use food to improve your productivity. Yeah, and Dietary changes, he says that dietary changes are the hardest to accomplish because we bring there's a lot of pressure from our society, from what our body wants. Most of our bodies want pizza, burgers, and that class of things because of what the media is doing to us. Every ad is about, you need to take a burger, you need to do this, soda is there, and what have you. That particular, whatever we are being exposed to is influencing our choice of food. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm done. I hope whatever you have learned will inspire you to make lifestyle changes. I'll give room for questions. Give room for questions. Back to you, Maryanne.
Wow, 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 wow. Hey, let us clap for John. Thank you so much, John. Please help me appreciate him. Thank you so, so much. I have learned so much. And the teacher in me is like, hey, you can't say your points. Oh my God, I have personally learned so much. Thank you so much for that informative session. We have learned so much, and we do not take it for granted. Thank you for sharing your immense knowledge with us. I know it doesn't, like you've shared, it has come from, you have a history of what inspired your work, and there's nothing as beautiful as turning that painful experience into purpose, and we have gained so much from it. So thank you so much for your research. Thank you so much for your dedication to mental health and wellness. Thank you so much for the presentation tonight. We have learned so much. You can help me appreciate him one more time. Just clap. You can use the emoji. Just clap in the chat box. Thank you so much, John. If you want, like John has said, we want to open up the floor to 2 questions, because you can see time has really moved and we want to release you guys. So we are going to open the floor to 2 questions, and then in the chat box we have made sure that we have shared details on how you can reach John. He's on LinkedIn, and you can follow him there. And at the end of the presentation, we are going to make sure that we have shared the link. David is going to help me repost it one more time in the chat box of the registration link, where we are going to get your details, and we are going to send the forms with, the recording with you, the recording link with you. We are going to upload it on YouTube, and also we are going to send you the PowerPoint presentation notes. But thank you so much, John. I want to open up the forum to 2 questions. 2 questions. I know I always say in my sessions and in my forums, there are no stupid questions. And I know you have learned and gleaned so much. So I want to open up the forum to anyone who has a question, or to anyone who has feedback for John. Even if it's just to tell him thank you, you can raise your hand and I'm going to mention your name. The floor is open. The floor is open. Any questions for John? Kindly. Even if you won't raise your hand, you can write it in the chat box and we'll make sure that he answers. Any questions for John? Any feedback for him? I can see, I will call people by name. Hilda, do you have something for John? Do you have a question or feedback for John? Okay, Hilda has not yet unmuted her mic. Okay, as you give time to Hilda, let us hear from, we want to be gender balanced here. I'm not sure about Waiva. Waiva, are you able to unmute your mic and say something?
I have appreciated the presentation.
Yeah.
And I hope the link that is going to be sent
Mm.
and still be of more revisable, since as usual there were some big interruptions which were there, but it is my hope all will be well. Otherwise, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yes, we'll make sure that we share the link with you. And like my colleague David is sharing in the link, he's sharing the link where you can register and share your details with us. The Google form. You can share your details with us, and we'll make sure that you receive the recording, you receive the PowerPoint presentation notes, and any other resource we may have. We are going to send it over to you. David, please help me do that. Let me hear from Miriti Helen. Hi, Helen. You have been consistent. Well done. Let us hear from you kindly.
Hi.
Hi.
I was not able to join us from the beginning,
Okay.
but penye nimepata, it was very productive. And John, you're doing a great job. Actually, I love his work. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, thank you for the
Actually,
feedback.
I know Helen personally. Thank you, Helen.
Hi. You're welcome.
Yes.
Awesome. That is awesome. Thank you so much for joining, Helen. We appreciate your presence as well. It's okay. We will make sure you get the notes and you won't skip a bit. We're also going to, actually, I can see our WhatsApp community link has been shared. Please join our WhatsApp group. That is where we are going. We like to streamline all the communication there, and we share everything that we do, and we keep guys updated in the group. We share resources, free resources, and informative tools in there. So please join us there, and we are going to make sure that you communicate and share the details of the presentation and the link for the recording link. Let us hear from one more person. I want to chokoza kidogo to ask somebody either a question or feedback for John. Lilian, I want to chokoza you kidogo. Lilian Zomo, please unmute your mic if you can and say something.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Thank you for organizing this. Talking about mental actually health. In trying to do everything is mentioned: eating healthy, and exercising. Hello.
We can
hear you. Please continue.
Okay. Eating healthy, exercising. It's not been easy. So maybe I can ask, like, where can we find the way we have meal plans, like just a list or diet or something that can help us, or can help me rather, with eating a balanced diet, and not just a balanced diet, but actually eating healthy, because I think that's something I've been trying to do, but I haven't found one yet.
Okay, thank you for your question. Yes, John, you'd like to respond to that?
Yes, actually, I'm seeing someone, Deborah, here. I think she's a nutritionist. Okay. Yes, that is something we are working on with her, and we are trying to see how we can be able to link the idea between providing people with diets, not the foreign diet we see on the Google and stuff. We need to integrate and help people access traditional foods, the managu, the arrowroot, the cassavas, and we are working on a project with her to do that. So I think she can reach out once we are done with the once we launch the program. We are going to invite her on the same, and we are going to provide that meal plan. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. That is so awesome. Thank you so much for that, John. And that's why we also want you guys to follow him on social media. You will see the link there in the chat box, so that you're also up to date with what he's doing and the work that he's doing. And we'll continue collaborating and making sure that you get this information. Thank you, Deborah, for the work you're doing as well. I hope that has answered your question. Maybe I can ask one more question, John. If the book that you have mentioned, if you have it in what format? Yeah, the online I forget
PDF.
the soft copy.
Yes.
Okay, you can also kindly share that with us, so that we are going to share that resource with you on our WhatsApp page, so that you get everything, and we are here to support your journey and in your mental health. And I can see the comments here by Deborah. She's saying this is a wonderful session, and I'm actually super excited that the diet aspect of things was focused more on, because majority of productivity conversations are usually about keeping schedules, playing games, etc. Good job. Thank you so much, Deborah. You are triggering, the teacher in me is being triggered, but I don't want to start talking because we live here at I don't know what time. But you've mentioned something very important, and John, that's why I invited John, because he is very in-depth. And he's also a researcher. He's a mental health professional. He's a psychologist. He's also a researcher, and he does the work. And we are committed to making sure that you receive the very best, so that you are equipped for so that you can have good mental health and you can be able to be productive. So yes, I agree. It is not just about playing games. We are about addressing the root issue. If we address the root issue, then all these other symptoms are going to disappear. So thank you for bringing that out, Deborah. I will take one more question and then we close. Kindly, one more. Wacha nichokoze, one more person. Univent Masese, you have joined in just now. Please say something. Say something. Even if you are here for 5 minutes, it's okay. Just say something. Salimia watu. Just say something if you're able to unmute. Okay. Are you able to unmute, sir? Okay. Univent amesema angoje kidogo. Ni sawa sawa. So, John, is there something? Do you have what is it called? Parting shots? Talk to us.
Yeah, so thank you for the feedback, and I'm really happy to see us having a conversation about diet, because as she has mentioned, most of it is about planning, having routine, but we forget the most essential key. We need energy. Where are we getting energy? We need vitamins. Are we getting vitamin from schedules? No. We're getting energy from food, and it's a very good conversation. I really hope this could inspire you to start making necessary adjustment in your diet, integrate Pomodoro in your exercise, and also eat Pomodoro in your diet. Yes, that's my parting shot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John. Hey, makofi ya kumwambia asanti. And right now, I want to take this opportunity. Our time has come to an end, and we don't like stretching things too much. We know that you are tired, you've had a long day, and you just need to rest. Tomorrow is a working day. And so I want to take this opportunity and thank you so much, John, for your time, for your dedication, for your in-depth research, and the value that you have brought to us today. We are going to continue being together and partnering so that we are able to serve our people here. I thank you so much for that. And God bless you. And thank you. I want to also say Thank you to Lillian, Miriti, Helen, to John, to Janet, to Hilda. Let me see if there's, I don't want to miss out on mentioning anyone. To Deborah, to Univent, to Justus, Mokaya, to yes, to Wamboi Gatimu. We want to thank you so much. Your presence means the world to us. Once again, I want to repeat that please join our WhatsApp group. That is where we are conveying all this information, and you're going to get so much. We have so much to Atwezi exhausts. Tuseme tukule Atwezi exhausts. And every Wednesday, we are going to be having an info session. So please join our WhatsApp page so that you can be informed, and we will also share the details of tonight's presentation. And I want to say a special thank you to David and Janet for helping us facilitate this session. And now, I don't want to say much, but I want to wish you a very beautiful night. And tupatane hapo kwa chat box. You can say hi, you can say good night, and you are free to leave. We want to say thank you, and God bless. May you have a blessed evening.